The Big Ideas Group, or BIG, is a program of the Cedar Rapids Community School District designed to explore the methods of competency-based education in the state of Iowa. The problem that we're attempting to address with BIG is the quantization of education, which we normally think of as a course. In this case, I'm demoing Algebra 1 as a little yellow pellet, like in Pac-Man. And these standards are a part of that course, and they're assumed to be taught to every student that takes that course. But there's a fairly significant problem with the assumed learning of the knowledge of all of these standards from this course. A student who receives an A- has not learned the entire curriculum. And we've lost information by reducing their understanding down to an A-. We don't know which one of these, or any of the extras, they don't know. A B student, that problem is even more exacerbated. And with a D+ student, we really have no idea whether there was mastery, partial learning, half of these were learned, some of these were only sort of learned. So there's a lot of assumption that goes along with applying a grade to a student. And especially because this is a made-up construct from the turn of the 20th century, we have to wonder why we still use that to assess students effectively when it really doesn't do that. In other words, in what universe is it okay to lose this information? And I think that it's not. So BIG is attempting to solve this problem, and here's how we do it. Instead of starting off with the assumption of a curriculum, like this, we start off with the assumption of something interesting, like bacon. And then we say to the students, hey, what do you find interesting about that? Oh, you don't like bacon? Let's talk about something else. Oh, you do, just like everybody else? What questions do you have? How to make it, how it works, what makes a better bacon, why are some of them fatty, why are some of them greasy, why are some too salty, why are some too sugary, what's going on inside of a bacon when you're making it. There are all sorts of real questions that actual people might ask about bacon. We can then turn those questions into a project. That project may include any number of standards, curriculum items, or anything that it takes to complete that project. We then, as teachers, write down individualized competencies, such as the student will graph and predict the behavior of a salt cure on a side of pork with attention paid to salt concentration, thickness of sample, and other pertinent variables. This is a very highly individualized competency that is tied to very generalized standards. If a student meets this competency through his project or her project, we know that we can check these standards off, or at least give them a tick mark that the student has attempted them. What we gain by doing this is buy-in, persistence, and the ability to see what a student is working on and how far they are. We stop seeing these progress through courses as grades, and we start seeing them as an attempt at a percentage of mastery. By doing this project, a student may have hit 78% of the algebra standards, and 46% of the chemistry standards, and 13% of the NGSS biology standards. We now know that about the student, and we can tie it back to the project they did when they learned it. So that a year from now, 2 years from now, another teacher is working on the same standard or similar project with a student. They can look back and say, oh, remember in 9th grade when you did that bacon project? Well, we're building on that. And to do that, we've developed a little bit of software that we call BlueHarvestBBQ. And BlueHarvestBBQ's job is to keep track of these standards. So when we look at our projects, we can see all of the things that students in our school are working on. When we look at those things, we can see that we can leave comments for the student, and we can add competencies. So a student will be able to design and implement a pumping system. Well, that has all sorts of executing and designing experiments and energy conservation. And we can mark that as complete. And then any student that has completed that competency within this project gets those checked off. And if we go look at McKenna's progress, we can see here a complete list of standards that this student has finished. And then we can click here, and it takes us right back to the project that she completed that standard with. Now, we haven't quite yet finished the bar graph system that shows the working transcript of the student, but that's definitely something that is in production. Comments are welcome.